Hey guys, I am back with another book review, and today I'm going to be discussing Castaways by Brian Keene. And this book is dedicated to a number of people, one of which is Richard Lehman. This book came out in 2011 under Deadite Press, and it comes in at 220 pages. But yeah, it is dedicated to a number of people, including one of which is Richard Lehman. And what Brian Keene wanted to do, according to the author's note, is kind of give us a little backstory on Richard Lehman's Beast in the Beast House trilogy, and that is what he has done here. He's not really telling us the origin of these characters, but um, it is known that these beasts have been around for a long time, and they are on an island. And it seemed like Brian Keene had a lot of fun writing this book. I mean, there are subtle references to H.P. Lovecraft and cosmic horror. There's a direct reference to the Howard Stern show with two characters named Richard and Sal. Richard being a drummer from Kansas and Sal being a stockbroker. So you could see the direct reference there to the Howard Stern show. But Castaways is also. I was apprehensive about going into this book because I am not a reality show fan. And this is basically Survivor. I don't really like found footage horror films, with the exception of a few who do it very well. Most of them, in my opinion, are kind of throwaway garbage films. I do not like them. But yeah, this has a bunch of characters on an island, and they are all competing. And at the end, if they win a lot of money. And Brian Keene, fortunately, does not stick to that aspect of the book. I mean, really quickly it's apparent that these creatures are going to come out, and these contestants have inhabited their island and are kind of being intrusive, and the blood and guts gets flowing really quickly. uh, there's a lot of characters. Some of them are throwaway, like the characters of Richard and Sal. Like, a lot of these characters are just there for these beasts to pick off, and that's fine, that's great. While we have that, we do have a few characters that are a little bit more fleshed out. Like, there's a really weird character named Matthew, who is part of this movement, and I think it's called the Sons of Constitution, if I remember correctly. And he's got a plan, he's got an agenda, and he's there to cause some trouble. And he's a violent person. Nobody knows really anything about him. He's kind of quiet at first, very odd, but you find out quickly that he is not just a quiet guy watching. Like, he's got something going on. And then you have a character like Troy. Troy is obnoxious. He is from Seattle. He is a mechanic, and he reminds us repeatedly, like when his adrenaline gets going and when he's gonna fight to save the day. This is how we do it in Seattle. Blah blah blah. So he's very obnoxious, and he needs a cigarette really bad, and he reminds us of that. And then there's the character of Jerry, who is in love with, I think the main character's name is Becca. I think. I hope. It's been a while since I've read this. Yeah, Becca. And, Becca is the main girl in this story, and she is there to win this cash too. So there are, the book is moving. It moves. It's a page turner. Brian Keene keeps the action going, the blood and guts, and there's a lot of it too. There are violent scenes of rape in this, and it's not gratuitous because it is there for a reason. It kind of sets up for us, the readers, to know why these beasts are just raping these women at on a whim. Uh, but if you're offended by that stuff, this might not be the book for you. Um, yeah, there's a lot going on, and the book itself is a 3.5, a solid 3.5. I won't say it's my favorite Brian Keene novel, but it definitely is one that deserves a second or a third read. It's definitely one that's not throwaway. I haven't read a book yet by Brian Keene that I could not get through. And even guys like Stephen King, who I grew up loving, there are books of his I just cannot get into. I cannot get into From a Buick 8. I did not like The Cell, although I read that in 2005, so I might change my opinion on it if I read it today. What, 16 years later? But yeah, even with Stephen King, as prolific and as good as he was, there's a lot of books of his that I just do not like. Um, but not with Brian Keene. But anyway, Castaways is a fun little read. It's dedicated to Richard Lehman, and it's not in Richard Lehman's style. It's Brian Keene's work. It's his writing style, but it definitely is. If you're a fan of the Beast House trilogy, you'll get a little information here about kind of the beasts that where they came from. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of violence, a lot of gore, lots of characters. And the one thing about Brian Keene is he does always write interesting characters. It's just with this novel, I wasn't really into the characters. I really wasn't behind them 100%, for different reasons. But I think I think when it comes to books like this, the main characters are these beasts. They are the most interesting. And up until they start raping the women, you're like, yeah, they're cool. And then when they start doing that, you want to see them get theirs. And Brian Keene delivers all that for us. So check it out. It is Castaways by Brian Keene. My recommendation to you, 3.5. Not a bad book at all. Kind of fun and fast. It goes by quickly. Anyway, that was my review. Thank you for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you again soon.